Burger King, home of that legendary flame-broiled taste. If you ask us, it just tastes better.
The Autumnal Festival at the Horseshoe about to resume. And the challenger this Saturday, the Penn State Nittany Lions. The Ohio State Buckeyes last claimed this glittering trinket in 1968. Coach John Cooper's troops liked their chase in '98.
We like being #1, and we're going to fight like the devil to stay there.
The Penn State Nittany Lions, a developing team, and Coach Joe Paterno expects this game to tell him what kind of a team he has.
What kind of poise they have, what kind of aggressiveness they have, whether they can go out there and take the bull by the horns and make something happen.
This is the third consecutive year these two teams have come to the Big Ten Conference opener undefeated and ranked in college football's top 10. The weather today, light rain off and on throughout the day. It's 51 degrees as #7 Penn State challenges #1 Ohio State. Hello again, everybody. I'm Keith Jackson, and welcome to the Horseshoe. This is one of those college football games that could drown you in hype if you let it. There is so much to it and so much to its aftermath. But surely the winner of this game will have taken a large step down that yellow brick road on the way to that magical thing that happens January 4 in Arizona, the national championship game. This is also the Big Ten opener for these two teams, and that magnifies the value of a win and the cost of a loss. #1 Ohio State against #7 Penn State. We'll have more for you in a moment. Right now, let's go to our New York studio and join John Saunders and Todd Blackledge.
All right, Keith.
The Ohio State Buckeyes, #1 in the nation. They defeated West Virginia on the road, Toledo and Missouri at home. Most everybody had them preseason #1. And welcome back to the Horseshoe as it begins to fill up on a rainy day. Let's turn now to our analyst, Bob Greasy, his thoughts on this matchup.
Well, Keith, I enjoy talking with the coaches. Joe Paterno is the winningest active coach in Division I. 301 wins. He's been in this situation before. He's beaten the #1 team in the nation 4 times over his career. But to beat this #1, his quarterback, Kevin Thompson, is going to have an outstanding day. Their running game has been by committee. They have no Kajana Carter or Curtis Enos. Somebody in that running back situation has got to step forward. Going against one of maybe the best defense in the nation, led by All-American Andy Katzenmoyer and Antoine Winfield. I like this defense. They're aggressive, they're attacking, and they should be the #1 team.
All right, let's go to the field now to our colleague Lynn Swan.
Well, Keith, it's just wet and cold enough where you can barely start to see your breath and your hands are a little stiff. And it's the hands of David Boston and Dee Miller that are most important. Last year, they were brilliant against Penn State. They were unstoppable. So what does Penn State have to do today to contain these two? Well, it's going to have to be the team game that gives them success, because they can't play off Miller and Boston. They can't press them without giving up the big play. The defensive line has to rush and put pressure on the quarterback if they are going to stop the passing game. Keith?
The coach is Joe Paterno, 33 years at Penn State, 301 wins. John Cooper, 11 seasons, Ohio State, for 89 wins. The temperature, as we told you, is 51 degrees. It's been raining since somewhere early in the morning hours. And the forecast is for showers through the day with occasional gusty winds. Not terribly comfortable. It's clement, let's say. Not yet inclement. Penn State will kick off. They won the toss. They defer to the second half. Ohio State then will have the ball first with Kenyon Rambo and Jonathan Wells. Travis Thorney will kick it off for the white-clad Nittany Lions, and the game is on. From the 7-yard line, Rambo. Out across the 25 to the 27. Now Chile starting lineup for the Ohio State Buckeyes. Tackle to tackle, major improvement. Only one senior among the top 8 in the trenches for them. Wide receivers, you have to dig deep into your thesaurus to define Boston and Miller. They will have a size advantage working in the Penn State secondary today. The backs, Michael Wiley ran for 209 yards against Missouri here 2 weeks ago. The Nittany Lions will surely go after him, but first I think they want to get in the face of this man, quarterback Joe Germain. And they've got prime weapons Miller and Boston to the outside for the first snap. And Germain hands it away to Wiley. Wiley finds daylight on the left side of the line. He got a good block over there, and he moves the ball. Brandon Short and LeVar Arrington make the tackle for the Lions. The Penn State defense is by far the best group the Buckeyes will have seen so far this season. There are no timid souls in that group. Number 43, Brandon Short, is the leader of the linebacking corps. You might want to keep an eye on number 11, Arrington. He's becoming quite a player. And the defensive backs, we've indicated, they're a smallish group. The corners, King and Macklin, are 5'8" and 5'9". The free safety, Lee, is 5'7". And they'll be rotating new, bigger people in there today. The ball is given to Matt Keller, the fullback. And Matt Keller. And I say to you that number 23, Keller, will see the ball more today than he has in any of the previous 3 games. He just picked up a first down.
That was a new play. Look, if you're an offensive coordinator, you want balance on offense. Ohio State rushing 274, passing 256. They're known for their passing, but their rushing has been outstanding so far this year.
Reggie Germany checks into the lineup now for the Buckeyes. Number 80, he's a 6'2", 195-pound sophomore out of Hazelwood, Missouri, so that gives them 3. He is in there with Boston and Miller. And they go the other way with it with Keller carrying, and this time the Lions search him out and find him for a yard or so loss on the play. Anthony King coming up from a corner got him.
Well, if the Lions have a chance to win this game, it's the defense that needs to set the tone for Penn State. Take a look at what they've done. They've taken the ball away 7 times. They've scored twice. They have 12 sacks and only allowed a little over 7 points per game in their first 3 ball games.
The play is finally into the quarterback at 18 seconds. He's back in the huddle. Jerry Sandusky is the man who's got his eyes all over Joe Germain and the Ohio State offense. Jerry has been at Penn State 3 decades. Germain back, takes the pass, fakes the reverse, wants to let it go. Lions won't give him a chance. Good defensive coverage downfield. Boston had no shot. And as a result, the quickness of the Penn State defense takes the quarterback down, with Short and Arrington again making the defensive play. So now it is 3rd down and long.
You called
14.
You called it right, Hoss. It takes a while to develop the reverse, and that allowed Boston to get downfield. There's only one receiver. Watch as he's going to be double covered. Good coverage by Fox, number 4, coming back. Boston, number 9, the only receiver downfield. Good coverage.
This works both ways, though. At 3rd and 14 coming up, the Buckeyes now know what Penn State's probably going to do with Boston through much of the day, and that's double it.
Oh, you got that right. With 2.
Germain's pass to the sidelines is incomplete. Germany's over there. Germany got himself involved with the Penn State defender, so involved, as a matter of fact, he forgot to turn around and look for the ball. And the pass is incomplete. So the Buckeyes searching around for some answers in the early going, and Penn State may have gained a little confidence out of that, because they now know they can fight their way through there and get some pressure on them.
2 of the best punters in the nation here today, Keith.
Bruce Branch is the deep man, and Brent Bartholomew is the punter. Bartholomew in 1998 averaging just about 45.5 yards per punt. That's pretty good stuff. Branch is one of those young burners waiting for the ball. There's a little bit of heat on him. He gets it out of there, and Branch has a little bit of room. Now he runs out of time, but shakes 1 tackle. He broke that 1 tackle that would have taken him down in his tracks, and was able to come back about 6 yards on the return. So it's a 42-yard punt, and they'll give him 5 yards on the return. And Chili's starting lineup now for Penn State. On the left side of the line, Wedderburn and McKenzie are 2 houses. They're big. The rest of them up front are also over 300 pounds, except for Fagan. Joe Nastasi's the steady guy. Corey Jones has been sharing that wideout position with Chaffee Fields. The backs, Nittany Lions, do not have that big old pumping tailback right now. Cordell Mitchell, however, is a slashing runner and has done quite well. And Mitchell has the ball, and he's dropped for a loss by number 32, Niall Diggs, the sophomore linebacker, who shot the gap and got it. The Ohio State defense, 3 down linemen of sophomores, as a true freshman at tackle starting today. Number 79, Ryan Pickett. He's replacing Clinton Wayne, who has a sore leg. In the linebacking core, behind that front four, there's speed and aggressiveness. And Katzenmoyer, of course, is the better known. I'm still waiting to see a better secondary than this one. I mean, they are really good.
Amen, brother.
Second down and 15 for the Nittany Lions. And the quarterback gets it in the air. The pass is Corey Jones. And so Kevin Thompson comes out and hooks up on his first attempt of the day to Corey Jones.
Big throw in there, big throw and catch there, partner. Thompson, who's been a little bit shaky, completing just about 50% of his passes. The first throw of the day, the second play of the game. Fran Ganner, the offensive coordinator. Jones has not been holding on to the ball. He had to catch that one twice, but now the nerves are a little bit less.
13 yards on the play, third down and 2. They go to the fullback, Ceramelli, and Ceramelli will not get the first down. He was denied it by number 13, Damon Moore, the guy that Joe Paterno has been talking about all weeks, along with Niall Diggs. So the Lions had a 3rd and 2 and couldn't convert it, and they will have to punt. Pat Pigeon, who's having a very good year, as you can see, 19 punts. He's averaged 46.5 yards per kick. That's second in the Big Ten. Kenyon Rambo, number 4, is the deep man for Ohio State. He's one of those California speedsters. No pressure. The kick is away. It's a good kick. Rambo with room. Got by the first one, but the second one hit him right on the number.
He sure did.
Number 52, Maurice Daniels, who is an inside linebacker.
Long ago, an inventor came up.
Tonight, starting 9/8 Central.
All right, each team has had the ball. Here's the second time around now in this first quarter of play. Ascari Adams has checked into the secondary for Penn State. He was a young man who came up with a big interception in the ball game at Pittsburgh. A game in which the Lions emerged marked, but they won 20-13. So now Jermaine looks him over and sets him up with Wiley deep and drops back to throw on first down. To the sidelines to Boston. The pass is incomplete, off his hands, out of bounds. David Mackler reached in and helped him lose it.
You look at Joe Germain, who is really has played very well. 64% of his passes he's completing. He's averaging 220 yards a game. He has not thrown an interception in the last 78 throws, 5 touchdowns. And for his career, he's thrown 36 touchdowns and only 13 interceptions. And what they're doing, Keith, early on, they're doubling the 2 wide receivers, Boston and Miller. That means the tight end down the middle may be open.
Wide open. There's an acre of open ground out there. Jermaine wants to go big with it. He goes down to Miller. Miller is in a struggling match, and that's pass interference. He gets the call on Anthony King. King had him locked up about 20 yards up the field, but finally they threw the flag on it. And it'll be a first down for Ohio State and the 15-yard penalty.
Well, they're not, you know, this is a big play offense, and they're not holding back. They're going deep immediately.
That's where the ball comes off.
Not a lot there.
Well, he had him...
he did have his hands on him a little bit, but it's... there wasn't a lot of pushing and shoving, but his hands, the defensive man's hands, were on the jersey.
The referee is Dick Honig. The umpire is Percy Munn, Jim Mellendore, the head linesman, John Couris, line judge, Jim Folsom, the field judge, Mike Sheehan, side judge, and Henry Zaborniak is the back judge. And it's first down Buckeyes. The ball is up on their 43-yard line. Wiley, who was a receiver as a freshman, goes outside, and he's tripped up over there by Anthony King. King read the play very well and was able to make the tackle. I'd love to get Wiley out there all day in a one-on-one, though.
You got that right. He's explosive, as you mentioned. He played some wide receiver, now back to running back, and he is exciting. That's all they need is a guy like Wiley in the backfield that can break it at any minute with those 2 big play guys on the outside.
Matt Keller comes back in with his lunch bucket along with D. Miller.
With his what?
Lunch bucket.
I like that.
You've got double wide to the bottom now. That's Michael Wiley, who's flanked out there again. So this is a new wrinkle the Buckeyes have not shown so far this season. Here comes the blitz. And it's Keller with the ball, trying to... And it's Macklin, who buggers up the play and made the first contact on him. Brandon Short and Ascari Adams were also over in the territory and hand-fighting the blockers until Macklin came over to make the first hit.
Well, Keith, one of the key situations and critical situations throughout the ball game will be third down. Both teams want to stay out of third and long, and by third and long, we discussed it should be anything over 7 yards and longer. To stay out of third and long, you win on first and second down. Penn State, they've been holding people to about 23% success on third down, but Ohio State has been a 51% successful team on third down coming into today's ballgame.
3 wideouts, they're in the shotgun, and Jermaine back on third down, lets it go into the middle. The pass is caught by Miller. The ball was thrown behind D, but he has the athletic ability to go back and get it, and so he bails out, Joe, on that one and picks up a first down.
You called it right, partner. That was thrown behind him, single coverage on the outside. Miller, he doesn't get a jam on him. Miller doesn't get jammed. He gets off the line of scrimmage freely. Anthony King didn't lay a hand on him, and Ascari Adams there to make the play.
At 8.5 minutes to go in the first quarter, no score. The Buckeyes now get to the opponent's side of the field. They're the first one to do that. First down, Ohio State at the Penn State 43. Rain remains steady. Jermaine drops the ball, has to cover it. Number 5, Brad Scioli, coming around, looped past the blocker, reached out, hit the ball, and it fell out.
Brad Scioli is number 5. He's a defensive end, and that may be an odd thing you say. Scioli was a quarterback in high school, and when he came to Penn State, he was still a quarterback, so he got the number 5, and he grew out of the position. Went to tight end, played some defensive end, but he kept the number. That's the biggest number 5 you'll see playing tight end. He's 267 pounds.
Pettigrew checks in now as the dime defense is on the field. Tackle comes out, Jones, and it is second down and 17. Thrown to the sidelines. There's a man over there. It's Michael Wiley out in the backfield. And a penalty flag is thrown. And the Buckeyes may lose that play. That time there was nobody over there. King got tangled up with some of his own people and couldn't get to the spot. Wiley was free, would have had a first down, but they were holding.
Here's Wiley. He's just going to come out here, and the man that's supposed to cover him is here, but the wide receiver is going to come in and block on the free safety right there, and that's where the holding is. Well-designed play, just don't hold. You get Wiley outside there, Keith, and one-on-one outside there with a lot of room, that's dangerous.
Reggie Germany was trying to keep Adams out of the play. Swanee?
Well, Keith, that's a tough thing for a wide receiver to do, to come out and block a guy and just sustain that block for a long time. Traditionally, what they try and teach a wide receiver to do is feel when that ball carrier has a ball behind you, then throw your block, because it's just almost impossible to hold one guy for that long. It's the one area that all the wide receivers for Ohio State really have to work on, Keith.
Reggie's only 19. 7-yard gain, a 10-yard penalty at second down and 20. And timeout called by Ohio State at 7:29 to go in a scoreless first quarter. Tradition here at Ohio State, before the Big Ten conference opener, the players go out and practice the band. If they can play an instrument, they give them one. Andy Katzenmoore out there with a trumpet, Antoine Winfield banging on the snare drums, and everybody having a hoop. It's a good thing. Had a good time.
Yeah.
Second down and 20 now, as we go back to a field that's still firm, but getting wetter. And it's Boston, the man in motion. Jermaine back, pressure coming, dumps it off. Ball goes to Wiley. Wiley trying to get outside. Can't do it. D. Miller could not put the block on the Penn State defender, David Macklin. Ascari Adams also over there. And so far, the Lions are holding up very well defensively.
What Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator, is doing for Ohio State, he has seen what Jerry Sandusky's doing defensively, and he's doubling the outside, trying to take away the 2 receivers. He's trying to get the ball to Wiley on a wide swing or a little quick screen pass out there and open. in the open. And so far, the defense has done a nice job of preventing it.
Sooner or later, you got to hunker down and run north and south, though.
Yeah, that's right.
Third down and 19. Short trying to pop through, can't do it. Jermaine steps away from the pressure. Now he needs a little help. He's got the first down.
That's the wild card right there. Joe Jermaine. Good coverage downfield. Good pressure in the backfield. Nobody's covering the quarterback, and he takes off running. Watch the blitz. Short is 43. Morrison is 31. Arrington, all three linebackers are blitzing. The defensive backs downfield covering. Nobody's left to run the quarterback down. That'll drive you nuts. If you're a defensive coordinator or a head coach, that'll drive you nuts. You got everything except the quarterback. Good play by Jermaine.
22-yard run on the play. First down for the Buckeyes at the Penn State 30-yard line. Lumpkin moved. That'll cost him 5. The tight end broke the count.
Prior to the snap, false start on the offense, 5 yards, still first down.
6.5 minutes to go in the first quarter.
Right at you, the red shirt on the right side. That's just lack of concentration there. What do we call this? A light drizzle, partner?
It depends on what part of the country you come from. Michael White goes slashing down inside the 25-yard line, close to the 24, and it'll be third down. It's Matt Keller, the fullback, helping him get through the holes.
Wiley leads the nation in average per carry at 9.3 yards, averaging 166 yards per game. Been one of the real pleasant surprises for the Buckeyes this year. You can see the rain coming down there. I guess it's
more than a drizzle.
More than if you're not in it, it's just a drizzle.
You're second down and 5. You're sitting in front of the fire.
Yeah.
Down to the 21-yard line on that carry. So they'll be looking at 3rd and 1, and it's Michael Wiley again.
Wiley's a junior, a true junior, and has started off the season in fine fashion compared to the other great running backs that they've had around here in the past. 3 game starts. He's doing pretty well.
Across his 33 seasons as head coach at Penn State, only 8 schools in the country have an edge over Joe Paterno. One of those schools is in the Big Ten, Ohio State. 3rd down and 1.
He didn't keep us in suspense very long.
I figured most everybody knew it. Arrington almost got caught. They get Wiley behind the line of scrimmage. It's Brandon Short, number 43. And so on 3rd and 1, they lose a couple of yards. So here comes the kicking team for the Buckeyes.
Here's the linebacker right in here. Brandon Short, very active linebacker play by the Nittany Lions.
It'll be a 40-yard try. The ball is going to be put down on the ground, and the ground is wet, remember, by Brent Bartholomew, the punter. And Dan Stoltz out of Orrville, Ohio, will try the 40-yarder, trying to give the Buckeyes the lead here in the first quarter. On its way. He missed it. So Stoltz, who has not had a sterling start, and the ball drifts off to the left side, and the snap from Kevin Hauser seemed a bit high, and they didn't quite get it down. So they miss it. There's the big guy right there having a cool drink that made the big play when he got through to jump the quarterback on that 3rd and short. Brandon Short. And Joe Paterno's troops right now doing pretty much what they had planned. And they go to work, first down, just short of their own 23-yard line. Hand the ball off to Cordell Mitchell, who bounces outside, and there's nobody there for a long time until finally Ahmed Plummer disentangles himself from a would-be blocker and goes to the sidelines to get him. So Plummer got occupied downfield by one of the wideouts and was late getting to the sideline.
Well, the run's going to come this way, but watch the block of Ceramelli right here. And the other outside defensive back, Barry's going to run himself out of the play. Ceramelli gets a nice block, and Barry just comes in too wide.
Eric McCoo in the backfield now on first down for the Nittany Lions, and they're on the Ohio State side for the first time today. The ball is thrown to the outside to McCoo, a freshman out of Red Bank, New Jersey, and he'll pick up a couple of yards on the play. Sunday night live at 8:15 Eastern on ESPN, Sunday Night Football. Seattle going to Kansas City, and that's a stop that the Seahawks have not enjoyed much success in the last decade, as they go in against Marty Schottenheimer's KC Chiefs. They're pretty tough.
Kansas City's looking pretty good.
Second down, and call it 8. Thompson back. Little play action to free it up. The ball tipped in the air. Caught by Shafi Fields. Fields catching a ricochet from Plummer. So they're picking on Plummer and doing all right with it right now.
Plummer was all over him on the coverage. In fact, he read the route. It was a stop route. He cut in front of him. Plummer just couldn't get up high enough to pick it off. And Shafi just stays with the football and makes the play, where the wide receivers have been troubling catching the ball the last couple of weeks. They've done a nice job with second catches here today.
That kind of a play that got him loose on that 60-yard touchdown run against Pittsburgh.
Here they come.
And now there's contact. There's movement all around, and everybody's pointing their fingers. So let Dick Koenig work it out. No flag, no play. He's called it second down.
Bob, Keith, I think in this kind of weather, you may see a number of plays like that. It's just cold enough where a defensive back like Plummer, who probably would have caught that on a warm day, it just hits hard hands, Keith.
Yep, all gets slick. Second down and 12 for Penn State. That's a pretty good play right there. McCoo just is buried under his own blockers as Pickett and Brown just blew up the middle of the line. One of those old bull rushes like you see oftentimes in a town down south called Tallahassee.
That's true. Well, this defense for Ohio State's pretty good, Keith. Only 238 yards a game, 10 points. But look at the bottom. The opponents have only scored on 4 of the 42 possessions against this Buckeye defense this year.
There's another true freshman in that defensive line for Ohio State now, number 98, Mike Collins, with his third down and 17 for the Lions. Cordell Mitchell is back in the backfield. Kevin Thompson's pass is away to the sidelines, and how do you do, Mr. Jones? My name is Plummer.
Yep.
You picked on me twice. I'm tired of it.
Well, it was third and real long, and they threw a little hitch play out there. It's a safe call. Penn State doesn't want to do anything to back them up. Now they're going to say, well, let's just see if we can get 3 points on the board here. Very conservative call, but that's what you're doing here on the road with an inexperienced quarterback.
And they lost their chance for 3 points.
Well, they did. With a punt.
With that loss, yep. So in the punt is Pigeon, and he'll try to pooch it and kill it deep. The old knuckleball is what you need right here. Just kick it high off the instep, let it wobble around, let it wobble around. That's a pretty good kick. Tail dragger, though. If they don't cover it, it go to the end zone. Look out. And they get it down at the 1-yard line, but there's a flag waiting back up the line of scrimmage. So
sounding like a special teams coach there, Coach.
I've been yelled at a few times in my life.
Oh, that's a tough penalty. It's illegal substitution.
That's carelessness.
They're going to have to punt it over.
They had the ball down on the 1-yard line.
Yeah.
It's an infraction. Player did not get inside the 9-yard mark. The offense, 5 yards, 4th down.
It's 4th game of the season. That'll make that man cranky.
Anthony King, the cornerback that was in on the punt coverage, didn't get inside the number before the ball was snapped.
Pigeon punting. Rambo is deep now. Now Patrick can reel out the leg and wham it. Penalty flags again. That ball is kicked into the end zone. But let's see about this flag. Do it again. Back it up 5 more.
No, I think I'd decline this if I were Ohio State. Just take it on the 20 and go about our business. Yeah. So they go from the 1 yard line out to the 20-yard line. Coop says I'll take that. Let's go from here.
And market just went up. 39 seconds remaining in the first quarter. We have no score. Ohio State missed the 40-yard field goal try. Penn State manifesting something of a threat, only to wind up losing on a 3rd and long. And after a succession of punts, it's finally first down, Ohio State at the 20.
Both quarterbacks are starting out the game in pretty good fashion, even though the weather was not made for throwing the football.
Jermaine came into the game having hit 50 of 78 passes and no interceptions so far. Comes Wiley. Pretty good coverage. Coming across the field on the dead run is Derek Fox out of Canton, Ohio, to make the primary hit on that play. Fox, who had 4 uncles play at Ohio State.
Yeah, that's for sure. He's from Canton, like you said, and his 4 uncles went to Ohio State, and he says, no, I ain't going there. I'm going across the state line over to Pennsylvania, to Penn State. You know, his Tim Fox was one of his uncles. I played against Tim. He was an All-American here at Ohio State, and he was a pretty good player at the New England Patriots.
So we have no score in the first quarter, and we'll return after this message and a word from our ABC station.
Championship Series.
Well, the sparring period is done. There was no scoring, and the sparring should have resolved some of the issues that they were considering. Now, the question is whether or not they have found the places where they want to exercise what they think is opportunity. On 2nd down and 8, swinging out to Wiley. Well, that looked a little bit like some of the stuff we saw early. Wiley disappears under 5 white shirts.
That's the 4th time that they've thrown the ball to Wiley out there, and to no avail. It hasn't got anything good out of it.
Ain't going to produce much, I don't think.
But it's good. I like it. It's just getting your big guy out there, but nothing's happening. Here's a look at the numbers. Ohio State's had it almost twice as many plays. Look at the bottom number. A lot of tackles for losses. It means the defense is are getting after him pretty good.
Navy has jumped to a 10-0 lead over West Virginia.
Oh, boy.
Well, the Nitties are having a good go. Out of the shotgun, Jermaine has time. His pass is away. His man is wide open. David Boston, first down, Buckeyes. At the Penn State 48-yard line.
The wide receivers are as a pair, the best pair of wide receivers in the nation. Just run straight down the field. It's double coverage. King had him short, and Lee, 24, had him deep. It's a nice read by the quarterback and the receiver to hang in the open area along the sideline.
On the 48, first down, Bucks. Miller's the man in motion. And Wiley has the ball. And number 40, Aaron Gatton, got him by the hind leg and stopped him after about a 3-yard, 4-yard pickup.
And Bob, I have to agree with you about Jermaine. No interceptions because he does a great job reading. And once he crosses midfield, This is when he can really take advantage of the mismatch between the height of his receivers and the Penn State secondary. He can get them down there, give his boys a chance to go up in the air to make the great catch.
On 2nd down and 6.
Watch the tight end down the middle one of these plays.
They move Lumpkin up to the top of the picture there. It's been available. Back to Wiley. Trying to run in behind Lumpkin, and LeVar Arrington just beat him to the punch and made the tackle.
Arrington's been an outstanding player. Number 11, right there in the middle of all that mass of bodies. Finds his way through. He's a second-year sophomore. He was a running back in high school a couple of years ago. In fact, he was the National High School Player of the Year. He came to Penn State, and what Joe tell us last night? He says he wanted to play linebacker, didn't he?
Yep.
I was kidding Joe. I said, as one other one of these running backs, you moved to linebacker. He said, no. He wanted to play linebacker.
Got him a warm reception, too. 3rd down and 6. Jermaine's passes away down the middle. It is Dean Miller who turns back into the center, makes the catch, and gets a 1st down for the Buckeyes.
Dean Miller is the receiver on the opposite side of Boston, and it's a zone coverage. That's why there's nobody running with him. Jerry Sandusky's going to try and mix up his coverages, and he's done a nice job of it. This team, Buckeyes, this offense is explosive, Keith, and to hold them without any points for almost a quarter and a half is pretty good.
On the Penn State 30, 1st down. Jermaine hands it to Wiley, and coming from the outside is Scully, and he took him right down. And they're going to deny fumble, I think.
Well, I think it was a fumble, but I think Murphy, 56, was on it.
Scioli came in there like a rocket.
56 for Ohio State, Rob Murphy.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right, it did. Ball came out. And Murphy got it.
Wiley has had a problem in the past of fumbling. That's only his 2nd fumble this year, but last year he had a problem with that.
So it's 2nd down and 10. Jermaine back. Good protection, goes underneath. And Wiley dropped the ball.
Well, Wiley has had nothing but success this year throughout the season. But today, it's been tough for him because the swing passes they're throwing to him and the running game that he's been used to having huge holes throughout the first 3 games of the season haven't been there. He just drops that one.
Yeah, I'm waiting to see when Joe Montgomery shows up and they just start banging.
That's part of the power game.
Yep. 3rd down and 10. Wiley's up going. They got him in behind the line of scrimmage.
Oh, boy.
Scioli again. They got him.
Scioli say hello there.
Number 57, Imani Bell, arrived early. He didn't get him, but he messed it up. Big old 57 there is a mere 294 pounds. So let's see now if this would be big time field goal distance, and they're going to try to put it down on the 40.
The one area of this Ohio State team that has not been clicking is what you're seeing right here, the field goal kicker.
So it's 50 yards. The wind's not going to help him, and it continues the light rain. Whoa, that's a high snap, and they block it. And it's picked up by the Nittany Lions. King has it, and they throw him out of bounds up around the 47-yard line. David Macklin was the man that came in and got a piece of it, and it was a mess.
Yeah. Well, the snap was high and threw off the timing. Watch the snap. Bartholomew, the punter. Yeah, it was a high snap, threw off the timing of the kicker, and just enough time to allow Macklin. Joe said last night, we need some breaks in the kicking game. He's thinking about getting one for a touchdown.
Hey.
Let's go back to the blocked field goal. Macklin, 27, is on the outside. He comes around. Now, the reason he has enough time to get there is the snap is high. Normally, he wouldn't have time to get there, but with a high snap, Stoltz hesitated, and Coop's not happy. So the ball's too high. The snap's way up here.
All right, they get good field position out of it, and here comes possibly an emotional lift. Aaron Harris is in the ball game for Penn State. Number 25. He's the fellow who broke that 51-yard run that won that game for him over there last year. And Thompson's pass is away down the middle. It is incomplete, intended for Nastasi. Joe Nastasi running with Antoine Winfield, and Winfield's going to win that most of the time.
Well, that's exactly what Penn State wants, though. They want one-on-one down the field with their best receiver. This ball could have been caught. Maybe should have been caught. Nastasi right there with one of the best defensive backs in the country. But Penn State's offense in their passing game is not elaborate. But that type of one-on-one is what they want.
Second down and 10 from their own 47-yard line. Handed off to Cordell Mitchell, and Niall Diggs rides him down. Oh, that cowboy.
That was the first incompletion of Thompson.
Michigan, Iowa among the games that will continue our college football doubleheader. Colorado, Oklahoma, Clemson, North Carolina, Washington State, UCLA. Check your local listings or call your cable or satellite company if you'd like pay-per-view. See what they've got. Back goes Thompson to throw. The pass is caught this time right on the money by Joe Nastasi. He got away over there, and Thompson put it right on the number.
Well, you're not going to catch too many on Antoine Winfield. But Joe says we're going to take our shots. Thompson now 5 of 6 throwing the football on a wet day. Good protection and a nice throw. Winfield off of him, takes the bite to the inside.
Flip. That's a good move by Joe. He's very steady. He's their possession receiver. He's the senior. First down for Penn State. First real threat of the ball game. And it's Mitchell. Cordell Mitchell hit by Andy Katzenmoyer after about a yard pickup. We've got 9:25 to go in the first half of play. No score in the ball game. And Penn State, with a very steady field goal kicking unit, is creeping on down the field. Even if they can't get it in the end zone, they're going to have a shot, I think, at taking the lead. It's McCoo now, the tailback, with Aaron Harris at fullback. Harris is yet to carry it. Thompson's pass is thrown poorly.
Well,
he had McCoo there, and he had about 10 yards of open space.
You're exactly right. And Thompson, you could see Kevin, when he threw the ball and it was incomplete, he knew that he had his man open, and the man was the right guy they want to get the ball to, because McCoo has some speed. Rolling away.
Rudzinski was coming after him, and he perhaps distracted him.
I think you're exactly right. It would distract me too. When those linebackers come free, they distract you.
They're down in 9. Thompson's pass quickly to the sideline, caught by Corey Jones, and Jones is taken down just about the line of scrimmage. And so now we're going to get a chance to find out about Travis Forney's leg in this kind of weather, under these kind of circumstances. No score with 8:35 to go and counting in the first half.
Joe was talking to him about that little throw out to McCoo. He says, plant your feet, set up. And Thompson was saying, hey, there was a linebacker coming, Hoss.
The holder is Chad Krell. He's a quarterback. It's a 42-yard field goal try for the lead. And he got it. And a penalty flag. Hold it, hold it, hold it. There's a penalty flag. They had to huff and puff to get it over. So let's see if the flag is against Plummer for flying in and nailing the kicker.
Into the kicker. Defense.
Yeah. Decline it. Small penalty anyway. Running into is only 5 yards. Roughing is 15. So Penn State goes to the lead 3-0 on a 42-yard field goal. It is 3-0. Penn State leading Ohio State. 8:08 to go in the first half of play. Ohio State, from where I'm sitting, doesn't seem to reflect intensity. I don't know if I'm right or not.
I think the weather, Keith, is affecting Ohio State more than it is Penn State, because their game is more big plays and passing than Penn State is. They want running, defense, and special teams.
The kick is to the 1-yard line for Jonathan Wells. Bend him over backwards and take him down at about the 23-yard line by Ron Graham. To the ground game now we go with Joe Montgomery. Montgomery is a thumper, and he bangs in there for almost 10 yards on his first carry before Anthony King brings him down. So it may be time now, in the judgment of the offensive coordinator Mike Jacobs, and in particular John Cooper, to let's do a little paint swap.
I think it's an excellent call on Cooper's part to get Montgomery in the ballgame. Change the tempo a little bit.
They gave him a first down on the play, and they just wedge it to the left side, giving it to Matt Keller. And the mass of humanity will move about 2 yards.
Little history on these two teams, Keith. Penn State whooped Ohio State last year in Happy Valley. And Ohio State couldn't run the football. They threw for like 400 yards, but they couldn't run. Now it comes back this year where Ohio State has really beaten Penn State the last 2 times they've been here, but Penn State is slowing them down today.
Jermaine back. Case. Now he's got room. He's got to have the first down. The pursuit is from LeVar Arrington, who reached in there and punched the ball out of his arms, but it went out of bounds, and Ohio State.
What a great play. Arrington, 2 weeks ago, Penn State was off last week, but 2 weeks ago, the last game they played against Pittsburgh, had 3 sacks, an interception for a touchdown. And this is just an outstanding play. Remember, he's the one we talked about being the running back in high school. He's coming on the blitz. He's being held there. He said, to heck with the tackle. I want to make a turnover here.
Even Joe Jermaine was laughing about it when he went back to the huddle.
Yeah, he was.
They got their first down on the play. Michael Wiley is back in the backfield now for the Buckeyes. Jermaine has run 4 times today and picked up 28 yards. He's the leading rusher for Ohio State.
What does that tell you?
Something's askew. That's what something ain't working. Well, the Penn State defense is working very well. Now they got Wiley going outside again, back to the throw and catch stuff, and that ball is thrown way back behind Wiley. Wiley had turned upfield and actually had broken free, but Jermaine by then had committed himself and couldn't reel it in. Now time for the Aflac trivia question. The question is, who was? Which was the last, boy, I'm telling you, we're going to have English lessons around here. Which was the last #1 ranked team that Penn State defeated, and in what year? Joe Montgomery is back in the backfield. He's got the ball and in traffic. The Lions stack him up. Pick up of a yard or so. Down in the middle of the melee. Courtney Brown. Courtney Brown finally getting that cast off his hand. He must feel like he's free to go out there and roam around and really play now. Yeah. Very good player.
Yeah.
It's 3rd down and 9.
Just inside 6 minutes to go. Penn State leading 3-0. It is 3rd down and 9 now for Ohio State.
Tight end.
Throw it to Montgomery. 2 guys over there. 3, 4, and the 4th one got him. David Fleischauer. And that is short of the first down, and Ohio State's offense, which is struggling, will have to punt it away. I still think you just got to square up and
Well,
play smash mouth football.
Yeah, well, this defense is pretty good defense, Keith. They're not, you know, it's,
I do appreciate that.
And the rain is helping the defense.
Bartholomew back to punt. And Grant is waiting. High knuckle ball. That's not very good.
All the way.
But it takes an Ohio State roll and will roll inside to the 13-yard line. So it rolled about 15 yards on the wet field, but winds up only a 28-yard kick, but they're pinned pretty deep.
I know the reason why.
Promotional consideration provided by National Car Rental, the official car rental company of the Bowl Championship Series on ABC.
Penn State defensive coordinator huddling with his troops, and they've been outstanding so far. So I think so far in the ball game, Jerry's the winner, don't you?
I do too. I'm sure he loves the rain that is coming down. The weather helps him, of course.
And the visage of John Cooper tells you very clearly how he feels about the circumstance. Yep. Ohio State now. Let's see whether or not Fred Puckett says, "Lay your ears back, boys, and go get them." Who is the man in motion? Turn and hand the ball inside. That's Aaron Harris's first carry of the day. And he might have a yard out of it. Rudzinski among those getting there early, number 35. So Aaron Harris, wearing that big knee brace, he tore up the leg the week after he had that huge run in the Ohio State game over at Happy Valley, won by Penn State last year, 31-27. And he is, I think, probably the most gifted of their running backs.
But Joe says he's not back to 100% yet. So he's working his way back, but he's nowhere near where he was.
Clemson Wayne is in at defensive tackle now for Ohio State. Carrying a sore leg, just in there. Thompson back, gets the pressure. Ball comes out of his hand, rolling around the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State, Rudzinski. Joyously, looking a lot like a forest to the north with all the colors from the poncho.
Yeah, you're right.
Extra point try now by Stokes. Let's see if they can get this thing organized. Been a little tricky so far today for them. The field goal is wise. All right. 3:55 to go in the first half of the Buckeyes. Get a break. They lead 7-3.
It's a defensive day, Keith. It's a rainy, cold, raw day. Play action pass. The quarterback wants to come out this way, but Rudzinski is blitzing untouched. The ball will slip out of his hands. Quarterback surprised right there, tries to throw it quickly. The ball slips out, and the defense gets the first touchdown. No question that that's a fumble and not an incomplete pass. The ball just slips out of his hand.
So the senior in the linebacking core for the Buckeyes gets the big play. And the rain right now appears to have let up. But it is wet all over the place.
Well, everything had been going just fine for Joe Pa until that point right there.
Ball hangs up. And it's accepted back at the 10-yard line by Titus Pettigrew. Now the Buckeyes showing a little more spirit and vigor. Come down to get him short of the 20-yard line, and away we go to John Saunders.
Keith, in time now for the Burger King update. Florida State against Maryland didn't take long. Chris Wenke back to pass, hooks up with Lavernius Coles, who gets bumped a couple of times and then just waltzes into the end zone. 38 yards, 7-0. And how about this score? Navy right now with a big lead on West Virginia in the second quarter. Keith.
Wow. by the middies. They're just short of the 20-yard line, and it's first down. And now the crowd, for the first time today, starts to come alive. Being heard from. Cordell Mitchell is the beat man. Penalty flags all over the place just before the ball is snapped. There's another 17-3 score kicking around here somewhere. Georgia Tech beating Duke 17-3 in the first half of play.
Prior to the snap, ball starts on the offense. 5 yards, still first down.
There's no option. They'll impose the 5-yard penalty. Earlier, we asked you the Aflac trivia question, which was the last #1 team Penn State defeated and in what year? It was Notre Dame. Notre Dame beaten by Penn State. The Irish were #1 in the country. Penn State number 18. It was in 1990, November 17. Craig Fyack kicked the field goal to beat the Irish. And they frolicked well into the night in happiness.
Yes, they did.
Handed to Mitchell. Buckeye defense now cranked up. Rudzinski, who had the touchdown, getting that tackle. I wish Joe would wear a hat.
Sue'd be a lot happier. Here are the other 3 teams that Joe beat during his career when they were ranked. The other team was ranked #1. Marino was playing at Pittsburgh. Herschel Walker was at Georgia. And Vinny Testaverde and Jimmy Johnson at Miami.
Second down and 15 for the Lions. Buckeyes leading 7-3. Thompson back over the middle it goes, and it is caught by Concho Brown. Well, Ohio State hasn't thrown to its tight end yet, but the Lions just did, and big old Concho Brown hauled it in.
Yeah, Franny Ganner, the offensive coordinator. And this is a big throw for Kevin Thompson. Tight end right here, going to go straight up the middle. Last time Thompson tried to throw it, slipped out of his hand, but he's back in the groove. It's a tough thing for a quarterback to overcome. He makes a big mistake. Not only does it's a turnover, but it costs just 7 points.
Ball out on the 33-yard line now after the first down. Ball is handed away to Mitchell. Life became a little more hazardous all of a sudden down in the trenches. Matt LeVar, number 48 out there. He's a junior from Maumee, Ohio, 6'3", 250. Not all that big for a guy hunkering down, but good player.
Ex-linebacker, they moved the defensive end.
Second down and 8. Thompson back, lets it go, and it's slapped away, incomplete. Defending on the play is Antoine Winfield against Shawnee Field.
There's your coverage, single coverage. Winfield, number 11. Winfield's going to eat this up. Watch him see, he breaks, he comes inside, knocks the ball away. They don't complete many passes on Antoine Winfield.
And Bob, I don't think anyone's going to beat Antoine Winfield with a single move. You need to have a double move, a triple move, and a little hokey doke all thrown in there.
Yeah, with a wet field, I don't think there are going to be many of those.
Third and 8. Brown in motion. Run it with Mitchell. Stop it with Damon Moore. Fourth down and 8.
Well, they want to throw when they expect to run, and if they're expecting pass on 3rd and 7 or 3rd and 8, we don't want to throw the football. We're going to run it. So,
with 2 minutes to play now, Ohio State has called the timeout because they're going to get the ball, and they didn't want Penn State to stand over there and count merrily away while 25 seconds disappeared. So they stopped it with a timeout. 7-3, the Buckeyes are leading, and suddenly after that break for them in the end zone, Rudzinski covering the fumble, loose ball that slipped out of Thompson's hands, they have come out with a goodly bit more vigor. That's Kenyon Rambo, who is walking around trying to stay loose and wait for the
get on and do the game and forget about the hassles of driving and parking.
Now we'll look at this week's Marriott moment. Number 7, Ohio State last year went into Penn State's Happy Valley against number 2. The Buckeyes got a great performance from Joe Germain, 378 yards passing. David Boston caught 14 passes, D. Miller 8. But it was this man, Penn State's Aaron Harris, who broke a 51-yard run, lifting the Penn State Nittany Lions to victory.
That was last year. John Cooper, always gracious, isn't he? The victory or defeat. He's done a nice job here at Ohio State. Outstanding. He's done very good coach. Doesn't get a lot of, I don't think he gets enough appreciation and respect for what he's done here, Keith.
I agree.
Now, Coop did tell us yesterday that they had a punt block on. Doesn't look like they're going to do it here, though.
No, they double up on the cover man down on both sides of the field now.
They got a return on.
Got a return on, trying to give Rambo a little room. Put 2 guys on those speed streets now, and the hot man coming down the field. One of them got loose. Rambo's looking at him. Now he's going to outrun him. Get around the corner. Scary Adams. He got some room. And he's out of bounds to stop the clock up at midfield. So Scary Adams was a hot man coming down, but he got away from him. And it's first down for Ohio State. Now, here's John and Todd.
Well, Keith, coming up on Valvoline Halftime 98, my conversation with Andy Katzenmoyer, who talks about his troubled offseason.
No matter what I do, there's always going to be somebody paying attention, looking over my shoulder, and judging me on my decisions.
You know, Keith and Bob haven't had to call the Big Cat's name too much, but you know he's out there. He's a big play waiting to happen.
All right, that and the scores and highlights all coming up on Valvoline Halftime 98. Keith.
All right, John, the ball is on the 49-yard line for this snap. Joe Germain rolling out, trying to buy a little time. Scioli's after him. The pass is away. The man's there down on the 35-yard line. D. Miller first down, Buckeyes.
I like the call. Mike Jacobs, the offensive coordinator, says they know they're going to be rushing the passer, Germain, very hard, so get him out of the pocket. Get him outside on that dash pattern.
And Bob, you notice that the wide receivers, Miller and David Boston, they're all trying to get that ball and pull it into their bodies and use their bodies to make the catch. It's just cold enough where I said before, your hands are a little hard, but if you get your body into it and you trap that ball, it's a safer catch and you protect the ball. Keith?
More to it than that, Swanee. My body's got a funny quiver. Germain rolling out. There's a takedown. Now that's holding. I'll guarantee you, folks, that play won't count because back upfield, we had an old-fashioned takedown by big old Tyson Walter. He just grabbed him, picked him up, and thumped him. Right between the shoulder blades. Save that move for the county fair. I can get you $500 for that. He wasn't going to let him get anywhere near his quarterback.
Well, the quarterback was rolling out toward Walter on that time, and he just... I think John's not happy with the call. So the guy fell down. My guy fell on top of him. He can fall on top of it.
18-yard penalty. First down and 28 now. With a minute and a half to go. Germain back, protection's good, pass is complete. D. Miller, Miller still going. Oh, he's something. Down to the 33-yard line on the play.
Sounded like you were selling batteries. He's going, he's still going.
All he needed was a snare drum, and he might have scored.
Macklin misses the tackle, and Miller just keeps going.
Second down and 8. Germain's pass is slapped down at the line of scrimmage. LeVar Arrington knocked it down. Great leaper, Arrington. You've got to get it up over him. He'll go get it. So it's going to be third down and 8 now for the Buckeyes. They lead 7-3.
Here's what we've been talking about, Keith. Tight end down the middle, and he was open that time. He had coverage by a linebacker, but that's been there most of the afternoon.
Germany and Rambo. field. Underneath. Oh, my goodness. That's almost intercepted by Fleischauer. David Fleischauer, the tackle, stood up and hit him right in the chest. Matt Keller might have been the man they were looking for.
Behind the defense, Fleischauer, 95, doesn't get much of a pass rush, and he just happens to get in the way of the back coming out of the backfield.
So it is 4th and 8, and they're going.
And I think this is good. It's too long for a field goal. You don't want to punt it. It's near the end of the half. He's got one of the best defenses in the country. If you don't make it, you're going to stop him.
50 seconds to play. 5-0. On the 33. 4th and 8. Bullet. D. Miller. I mean, Joe Germain just hummed it. That's called the old X.
Well, there was double coverage, but it was a poor double coverage. Miller just came underneath both the defensive backs and made the play.
And on first down, Germain goes down the middle for the tight end, and he didn't hold it. Incomplete forward pass. Lumpkin had it right at the goal line, and it's squirted out.
Well, this is what we've been talking about all first half. Here's the defensive back here. He's going to double on the outside. These two guys over here. And the tight end is going to be open right down the middle of the field. The two safeties split and go to the outside. The tight end right up the chute.
2nd and 10.
He took a pretty good lick.
Fox does a nice job of coming back off of doubling the outside and getting a hit on the tight end. That's just good defensive play.
Big John almost reeled it in. He's 6'8", 260, senior from Dayton. It's 2nd down and 10 with 35 seconds to play. Handed off to Keller. And Keller, the fullback, lunges to the sidelines at the 20-yard line, stopping the clock at 28 seconds.
Taken out of bounds by Anthony King.
Keller did a nice job just getting out of bounds there.
He's a good football player.
He is. He went to Cincinnati Moeller with Rob Murphy, the starting left guard.
It is 3rd and 8 now. Buckeyes are milking a lot out of this last 2 minutes, aren't they? Haven't scored yet, though. Miller's back out there. Germain looks down the middle, goes to Wiley. Touchdown!
What a great call that was, Keith.
Wiley's run 9 times for 23 yards, caught 5 passes for 31 and a touchdown. And here's Dan Stokes for the extra point. And on a cold, rainy day, it's 14-3, Ohio State in Columbus.
Great call. The safeties are going to double on the outside on the wide receivers. They tried earlier in this drive to get the tight end down the middle. That didn't work, so they go the other side to the halfback, and they get the halfback down the middle. Now, the halfback's got to have some speed. He puts a little move, goes right down the middle, and splits the safeties. Safeties split to the outside. They're looking to the tight end to get down the middle. You saw 43 short looking for the tight end, but they beat Arrington, number 11. Nice throw and catch.
Well, Bob, this is where the experience of being a wide receiver for Michael Wiley comes in so handy. So often you get a good running back, you have to teach him how to be some kind of receiver. For Michael Wiley, it's just reverse. Every time he's in the backfield, he has the potential of being the 3rd wide and true wide receiver for the Ohio State Buckeyes.
Good point.
23 seconds remaining now as Ohio State will kick off. Through the Lions. Ball's lifted up. And it's taken at the 12 by Pettigrew. Buckeyes take care of Titus at the 22-yard line.
Jermaine now 12 of 19. The offense kicking in a little bit. Wiley's caught 5, and Miller's got 5.
Yeah, the whole tempo of the ball game and the energy of Ohio State picked up after that fumbled recovery in the end zone.
Exactly. Everyone. David Boston has 1 reception.
There's that fourth down completion.
Fourth down completion. Yeah, like you said, that drive took forever.
They'll run it with Mitchell coming up the middle, and they apparently are willing to go to the clubhouse. They're going to put that ball up and give the Buckeyes a chance to handle it that close to their goal line. And once the chains are put down, the clock will go again with 12 seconds. So they'll have 1 more.
Joe's ready to take it to the house.
Yep, he's ready to go in and have a little visit.
Have a little chicken soup, a little broth, and warm up and talk about it.
Well, I thought Penn State held up very well. Ohio State did get one late to lead 14-3 at halftime, and here's John Saunders.
All right, Keith, thanks a lot. And Todd, as you watch the first half, really the difference is the guy calling the signals.
Yeah, Joe Germain in the last 2 minutes, that's the difference between a solid quarterback, an experienced quarterback, and a young quarterback. Penn State tried to protect theirs, go in with the small deficit. They gave the ball to Joe Germain at the end, took him right down for a big touchdown.
All right, stick around. Valvoline Halftime 98 after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Raindrops all over the place as we go to the third quarter. Ohio State leading Penn State 14-3. The Buckeyes will kick off to the Nittany Lions to start the second half. The field continues to be quite firm and in pretty good shape, but it is wet. Eric McCoo, number 8, and Bruce Branch, number 1, are the beat people for Penn State. Schultz gets a good one. 2-3 yards into the end zone for Branch, who's coming out. Mistake down at the 14-yard line. Highlights from the first half.
Well, there weren't too many. David Macklin blocks the field goal attempt by Stoltz. That sets up the first field goal by Forney. A 42-yarder put Penn State ahead. This mistake, Ruzinski sacks the quarterback and recovers for a touchdown. And then Jermaine to Wiley. A nice call, 14-3 at half.
It's Cordell Mitchell in the backfield. And Ceramelli, that's Ceramelli. It's Ceramelli on the first carry from the 15-yard line, and he'll wedge it up for about 4 yards. Now a look at the Morgan Stanley Dean Witter first half stats.
The turnover by Penn State we just showed you led to 7 points by Ohio State. Look at the numbers for Penn State. Not much there if you're an offensive-minded person. If you like defense, it's pretty good defense for Ohio State. Ohio State with over 200 yards at half. They're averaging over 500 yards per game.
Kevin Thompson back to throw it, swings it out to Mitchell, and Mitchell is swept down behind the line of scrimmage by Andy Katzenmoyer. Pretty hard to go east and west against Katzenmoyer.
Yeah, he can run sideways, Keith. Andy Katzenmoyer, I think only 1 tackle in the first half. Here's Katzenmoyer. The play's going to go out here, and he's just going to draw a bead on the tailback on this wide swing pass. He can make that play. A lot of coaches say they like to run right at him, even though he's so big, because he runs from sideline to sideline so well.
Oh, it is 3rd and 8. Moore creeping in. Damon Moore on a blitz coming in. Well, he didn't really blitz. He just sort of crept into things. And when Joe Nastasi came around on the would-be reverse, wham!
He saw that.
Fell.
He saw that whole thing coming. Damon Moore. It's a reverse. Moore sees it coming. I want to thank you very much. He doesn't get a lot of attention with Antoine Winfield in that secondary, but he's got to be one of the best safeties in the country.
He's the guy that Joe Paterno talked about all week long.
Yep.
4th and 17 now. the punt will have to come out of the end zone. Pat Pigeon back there, and Kenyon Rambo waiting for Ohio State. Buckeyes ought to come out of here with pretty good. They block it! Ball's in the end zone. Touchdown, Ohio State. Percy King blocked the kick.
John Cooper calls the punt teams his score teams. He feels like if you're going after a punt, that's a great opportunity to score either on a punt return or a punt block.
So an explosion to start the second half. Joe Cooper covered the ball after Percy King blocked it. And the kick is good. And it's 21-3, just like that.
We asked John Cooper yesterday if he had anything going, and he said, yeah, from the outside. These guys are all going to turn to the outside. Percy King is on the inside, is going to have a path to the kicker. Everybody turns away from him, and he's got an alley to the punter. The score team.
He almost caught that thing right in the breadbasket.
He almost took it off his foot.
Lonnie?
Bob, Kate, Joe Paterno was talking about situations like this when he came out for the second half. He said, sure, the mistakes hurt us in the first half, but it was that turnover that suddenly got Ohio State and the fans back in the game and changed the emotion. He said, we've got to come back in the second half and execute, play better football, no mistakes, and not let the fans get up and back in this ball game. As you can clearly tell by the band playing and the fans here, they are back in this ball game. It'll be much tougher for the Penn State Nittany Lions. Bob, Pete?
Kickoff. France and McCoo waiting. Grant circling, muffs it, picks it up at the 11-yard line and runs it out across the 22. Joe Cooper, who's pretty good on that special team, is a hot man. Having just scored the touchdown, made the tackle.
Ohio State defense, Keith, is what they've done today. They fumbled and a fumble recovery in the end zone for a touchdown. They blocked a punt for a touchdown. And the rest of the time, they've done pretty well also. This defense came in ranked number 9 in the nation in total defense. And they're going to move up from there if they continue playing the way they're playing here today.
Aaron Harris is at fullback. Cordell Mitchell is behind him as the deep back. Funcho Brown is in motion. Give it to Mitchell. And Mitchell gets away from 1, 2. And nice run by Cordell Mitchell before he's finally pushed out by Plummer. And it's up across the 40 to the 42. First down for the Lions.
But Joe told us last night, Keith, when we met with him, that he needed something good to happen on the special teams, a kicking game. He wanted to get a punt return or a kickoff return, maybe a block punt for a touchdown for his side. He wasn't thinking about the other side getting one. Now they've gotten 2 defensive scores against his offense.
They with a run up to the 45. That's a pickup of 3 yards. Diggs made the tackle. Tuesday night after Spin City, go behind the scenes on Sports Night. That's Tuesday at 9:30, 8:30 Central on ABC, the all-new Tuesday.
You used to work in a studio giving sports and news way back when you started, didn't you?
Oh, yeah.
Back in
dealt with hard news.
Yeah, you could probably identify with him back in the.
I don't think so.
I don't think you can identify with him, huh?
Second down and 7. And the pass completed to Shafi Fields down on his knees. I never found a whole lot of real life behind the scenes in the newsroom.
To look at the Penn State numbers on offense.
Maybe it's hanky-panky they're looking for.
A little hanky-panky going on. Well, there's hanky-panky everywhere these days.
Seems like it. Third down and 2. Here comes Moore. Passes away, and it is incomplete. Damon Moore messed that up. He got right into Kevin Thompson's face.
Damon Moore, number 13, a strong safety on a little blitz. It's been a better year this year for Damon Moore. It was a tough year last year for him.
He's a bright and shiny guy, though. He stopped by to visit a little bit yesterday, and it was fun to see him.
Yeah.
4th down and 2. Pigeons punt, no pressure. Rambo circles under it, runs away from one, and got up to about the 19-yard line before 18-yard line before he's out of bounds. 36-yard punt and a 4-yard return. 21-3 is correct. Early in the 3rd quarter of play, as Ohio State's defense has been the primary offense in putting points on the board. They send out Wiley as the deep back behind Keller. Jermaine obviously quarterback. Boston and Miller are the wideouts. And Murphy snapping the ball at center. And Penn State almost jumped, but they move back now on the shift to the tight end to the other side and give it inside to Michael Wiley. And there's nothing there. Here's Swanee.
We talked about the wide receivers and the impact that they were going to have in this ball game. So far in this ball game, David Boston's only gotten 1 catch, and D. Miller's a little better with 5. What John Cooper said they're going to have to do in the second half, because what Penn State is doing is attack the middle of the football field. And Bob, you realize is what we've been saying all day. When you have good football teams playing each other, it's not rocket science. It's more execution than anything else. Keith, Bob?
Penn State's done a nice job of taking those guys away and forcing Ohio State to go somewhere else.
There's one down the middle, and so it is intercepted by David Macklin. Nice play, David.
Yes, very nice.
Intended for David Boston. Running him back into the middle, and Macklin played it as well as you can play it.
It's a slant pattern to Boston. Jermaine throws it out in front, and Macklin has enough speed to undercut him. You don't do that very often, because if you undercut and the ball gets there, he is long gone. But Macklin makes the play that Penn State needs to get this offense jump-started.
That is Jermaine's first interception of the year. First one.
First one probably about over 100 passes.
Pretty close.
Yeah, almost.
Kevin Thompson going big. Nastasi. Got it! Down, 1-yard line. Not a touchdown. And Antoine Winfield up there with him, but Joe Nastasi went up and got it.
They've tried this one-on-one matchup quite a few times today. Winfield, Keith, is a tight man-to-man coverage guy, but doesn't have many interceptions over his career. He's one of those defensive backs that stays with you. You don't catch many balls, but he doesn't intercept many. That looks like a touchdown to me.
Sure did. Sure did. Caramelli. There's a touchdown. So Mike Caramelli takes it and muscles it into the end zone for the touchdown. And the Nittany Lions answer.
Yep. That's what happens when you have turnovers. They can turn games around.
They're going for 2, Bob.
Are they?
Mm-hmm.
All right. But an interception, 1 play later, or 2 plays later, a touchdown. David Macklin gets the pick, and they're back in the ball game.
Chaffee Fields in there. Nastasi's in there. Branch is in. They'll stack them up and then shift them out. And it's a pass play, folks. Throwing, no. Intended for Nastasi, had no chance to get it. And so it's a 21-9 ball game with 9:41 to play in the 3rd quarter. This pot is still boiling. ABC Sports presentation of college football brought to you by Ford, maker of vehicles that have built the last. Morgan Stanley Dean Witter. We measure success one investor at a time. Burger King. If you ask us, it just tastes better. And Midas, for quality service at your neighborhood Midas today. All right, we'll kick it off. Ohio State better look out. You don't take naps against Penn State. Forney hits it. Hooked it. It's Wells out to about the 25, 26-yard line. And here's John Saunders.
Well, Keith, Indiana's already scored more points this year than they did all of last season, and up against Wisconsin today in the second half. This is the opening kickoff. Darren Graham, 100 yards, tying a school record, as Wisconsin right now is struggling. A flag just thrown on what looked like a touchdown play for the Badgers. We'll keep you up to date on that one. Indiana up 13-3, and Navy and West Virginia, Navy leading it by a touchdown.
Might be one of those days again, huh?
Indiana went back to grass, huh? Looked like they had grass.
From the 26-yard line now, first down for the Buckeyes. And they run it inside. Michael Wiley out to the 26. That's a 5-yard pickup. 21-9 is your score. It was 14-3 at halftime.
Offense of Ohio State. They had things going pretty much their way until that last interception. Well, I should say the first interception of Joe Germain in a long time.
He had 98 passes. 98.
78 plus the 20. But now they got to get the momentum back.
Second down and 5. That's what pressure on the quarterback will do. Can't complete passes flat of your back. Scioli and Brown. Boom, boom. Ball turned into a knuckleball.
That ball was almost intercepted.
Pretty close.
Courtney Brown, 81, hits Germain, and Morrison, 31. I'm sure Joe Paterno on the sideline was living a slow death because he wanted him to intercept that one.
Bob, 3rd and 5 in the first half of this ball game. We talked about how important third down was. Ohio State had 10 third down possessions. They completed 5 of them. They averaged, I think, 9 yards each time on those third down plays, Keith.
Passes away, and they complete it again, and they get a first down out of it. And John Lumpkin finally got one thrown where he could catch it, and he's out of bounds at the 46-yard line and moved the chain. Crowd of 93,479.
This ball is covered all over by King, Anthony King, and Lumpkin is so big that King couldn't get around him. King's a small guy. He's only 5'8", and Lumpkin's 6'8". I'm sure he had time to, hey, I can't see around this tree. Another third down conversion.
At the 46. Germain looping it up to Miller. Too deep. Miller got tangled up a bit with King and couldn't really turn on the Jets. Sunday Night Live at 8:15 on ESPN Eastern Time. Sunday Night Football. Seattle against the Kansas City Chiefs. And then on ABC's Monday Night Football at 8 Eastern Time. Oh, it's a big one. Minnesota Vikings in Green Bay.
Those teams are undefeated, aren't they, Hoss?
Yes, they are.
I think they're both 4-0.
4-0. This is Wiley trying to get loose. LeVar Arrington kept him from that. Had Michael Pop to the outside. He had some daylight. But a good play by Arrington.
Number 11 moves around, inside, outside. This time he comes around. Not many defensive players could make that play coming from the outside and running all the way across the formation and getting the running back from behind.
It is 3rd and 10 for the Buckeyes. They'll go to the shotgun. Steve Wisniewski is in there as a tight end. Jermaine is sacked. Scioli was the first man to get there, and so Penn State is doing now what they talked about doing to Maine. Go after him, get in his face, send 5.
Yep.
And they've had some success with it.
It's Scioli's 9th sack of his career.
Well, he's a lot happier where he is now rather than playing at tight end.
Yeah, they needed him at tight end last year, and then he said, I like it back at defensive end.
The punt now by Bartholomew. And Branch waits. Very quiet. Pretty good kick. 15-yard line. Branch eludes the first man. Penalty flag. He's out of bounds up at midfield, but there are 3 flags back inside the 20-yard line. Dig Hornick, referee.
Block in the back against Penn State.
Ten yards.
That penalty is going to wipe out a 36-yard punt return.
Half the distance.
That's a good call, Keith. No question it was a block in the back. Let's run this. Go ahead and run it a little bit. We'll show you where it is. Stop it right here. Right here. Block in the back on McClellan, number 20. He pushes him from behind. The shame of it is he would have run away from him anyway. The guy wouldn't have made the play, but he went ahead and blocked him from behind.
Joe Dawkins. Inside, pretty good running effort to get the ball up across the 15 by Cordell Mitchell. Cordell weighs in at about just under 200 pounds this year, so he spent some time in that weight room this summer to beef himself up some.
Penn State and Joe Paterno has always had an outstanding running back, Keith. And, you know, Kajana Carter 2 or 3 years ago, Curtis Enos the last couple of years. They're developing one right now. This Eric McCoo may be the guy.
There's another good effort by Cordell Mitchell, and he's close to his first down, needs a yard or so. There's another big old horse over there named Omar Easy.
We haven't seen him yet, have we?
No, we've not seen him today.
Not today.
Probably too cold for him.
He's from Jamaica.
Oman, my fingers. I don't want to feel my fingers. Davies leading West Virginia 24-17, hanging in there in the third quarter. Aaron Harris and Mike Saramelli now on 3rd down and a yard. So basically you have 2 big thumpers in there, and Saramelli a fullback, and he gets it, and he hammers the left side of the line, and I don't think he made it.
Maybe second effort got it.
Might have. Number 94 was the first one in there to take him on, Rodney Bailey. And then Katzenmoyer arrived, and just depends on that second effort. They got it.
Stop was made by Rodney Bailey and Joe Brown.
Move the chains.
I think the Katzenmoyer makes the first hit, but Saramelli rolls to the outside and barely picks up the first down. Watch Katzenmoyer. There's the first hit. He stops him in the hole, but he couldn't wrap him because there was too many bodies around.
On the 20, first down for Penn State. Mitchell.
Cordell Mitchell is the ball carrier.
The big cat in the middle of the defense is having a kind of a quiet game. First game he only had 4 tackles, then he only had 2 last 2 weeks ago. They had a bye week last week. 12 tackles against Missouri.
Second down and 9, 21-9. Ohio State leading Penn State. It's raining again. Moore coming in and pick him up. Passes away. Not going to get it back. Oh my goodness, Ahmed Plummer stepped right in front of Shafi Fields and almost was going the other way. Pretty close.
Every time they throw this out pattern, look how far inside the receiver the defensive back is. He's to the inside of him. They're trying to throw an out route. They're going to go down. Watch him cut inside of him. Well, if he hadn't have slipped, Plummer, he could have picked that off for the touch.
3rd and 9. Thompson slips a little bit when he throws it. Shafi Fields is down there. The ball is intercepted by Ahmed Plummer. He got this one, but he didn't get it on his feet going the other way. Brent Johnson was the fellow who had the pressure in the quarterback's face and made him loop that thing, and Thompson also slipped just a little bit.
Yeah, we'll give Johnson some credit. Whoever's hitting him, because he underthrows this ball. Yeah, it was Johnson, number 60, underthrows it. Plummer sees it, gets back to the inside. Good interception.
At ESPN.com and on America Online.
Kevin Thompson wiping out the mud out of his hat, and they were looking at his arm to see whether or not he might have hurt. You see him slip there just before he's buried under the pile. And Rashard Casey had been warming up in case Thompson can't come back, or they want to make a change just for the sake of tempo.
It's an awful feeling for a quarterback being on the ground, dirty and muddy.
Oh, stop it.
Come on, they need to be clean.
Supposed to be a football player for crying out loud. You can't go through the game without getting your britches dirty. Jermaine's pass is away. He's got Miller wide open. He was hit as he threw it, but he got the ball there, and Miller can't keep his feet under him, and he goes down at the 27-yard line. Otherwise, D would have scored.
Good call, partner. Both defenses are getting after the quarterbacks, and Courtney Brown saved a touchdown for Penn State. Number 86. The bottom of the screen, just going to get around Walter. Jermaine steps up nicely, feels the pocket, stepped up. Ball was just thrown, but Jermaine did a nice job. He was hit. He says, just let me get it enough air and get it out far enough, because he was wide open.
D. Miller, 6 catches for 108 yards now. Ball is at the 27-yard line, and the Buckeyes have called for a timeout. So they've got 2 left at 3:52 to go in the 3rd quarter, leading in the ball game by a score of 21-9. This one of those defining ball games. Dark, gray, dank day in Columbus, Ohio. Their home team, however, is leading 21-9. And threatening from the 27 with Joe Montgomery at tailback, and Joe's got it. Keeps on pounding away. First contact didn't take him down. He picks up 4 yards after that initial hit and moves the ball down near the 21. I like this guy. I think he's pretty good.
Well, they're going to need him, Keith. He doesn't have the flash that Michael Wiley does. He can't go the distance, but he's a tough inside runner with some power that's recovering from a serious knee injury 2 years ago.
Got it again. Down to the 2. Tyson Walter, big old tackle, got out there and helped him. And they put him on the 1-yard line. 1st and goal to go for the Buckeyes.
That's Lumpkin, 85, blowing out Courtney Brown. Walter, 77, with a nice block on Morrison. And Montgomery slides inside the block of Lumpkin and almost makes it to the touchdown.
He wanted to stay out there, too, because he got up pounding his chest saying, me, I want one.
Yeah.
He's still out there. Now let's see if they give it to him. Yep. And he's got it. Got away from Sean Lee. You can see how much much his teammates like him. I mean, they go immediately to him. They're happy to have Joe score one. He had to be a gamer because the leg injury he recovered from was a tough one. There's an old warrior.
Well, you can hear what he's going to say right now in his post-game remarks. Too many mistakes led to touchdowns.
4 plays, 61 yards in a minute and 17 seconds. The kick is good. At 3:08 to play third quarter, it's now Ohio State 28 and Penn State 9.
Student athletes.
Stone's picking it off.
Kickoff by the Buckeyes. McCoo circles it at the 7. Oh, got a nice block in the middle, and then it collapsed on him up around the 24-yard line. So the Ohio State offense scores 2 touchdowns now. The defense has 1, and special teams has 1.
Well, the running game for Penn State has been by committee.
Kevin Thompson is back out there at quarterback now for the Lions. Cordell Mitchell is the deep back. That's Nastasi. And it's a little delay to Mitchell. And by the time Cordell gets things going, Mr. Katzenmoyer and company have arrived and have messed up the parlor. Wisconsin 17-13 now over Indiana, but I thought I saw Indiana had gone out 20-17. Didn't I see that a while ago? I think so. I think Indiana's regained the lead.
What a good job Cam Cameron has done over at Indiana, huh, Keith? Yeah. And Barry Alvarez has done a great job up in Wisconsin.
Second down, 9. Outside. Ain't nothing going on outside, folks. It was Niall Diggs. And Niall got it just before Katzenmoyer arrived.
Yeah, just too much speed. If Diggs didn't get him, Katz was going to get there.
And Damon Moore was right in Kevin Thompson's face again. Damon's run about 7 miles today and wound up most of the time just a little short of dehorning Thompson. A couple of times he got him. Back goes Kevin again. Pressure coming, and the pass is away down the sidelines, and it's just too long out of bounds. Bruce Branch, who is a burner out of Richmond, Virginia, freshman, trying to track it down, but couldn't. So the Buckeye defense does its job. They pin the Lions, and Ohio State should get pretty good field position out of this.
And they're playing like a #1 ranked team should play, Keith. They're strong on offense, strong on defense, and the special teams have been outstanding.
Waiting for it is Rambo, Pat Pigeon. 5th kick of the day. Low line drive. Oh, that's bad news if he hammers it. He turns back into the pursuit, and now they'll get it. Couldn't quite get off the corner over here to get started. Coming up next on ABC Sports, college football doubleheader continues. Michigan, Iowa, Colorado, Oklahoma, Clemson, North Carolina, Washington State, UCLA. Check your local listings or call your cable or satellite company for any game that you might seek on pay-per-view.
Punt returner was dancing around back there, going left and right. You can't do that. They give you a tutu, Hoss.
There's nothing like going north and south. On first down from the 38. The Germain looking around all day and then runs out of time as Brad Scioli arrives one more time, and we arrive on John Saunders' front porch.
And you're welcome to be there, Keith. Thanks a lot here on this update brought to you by Burger King. Florida and Alabama. Tony Zhao to Tim Bowens. Now watch, he gets stuck and winds up fumbling the football. Dropped it from behind. Jason McCadley picks it up 2 plays later. Dustin McClintock scores. So right now, Florida's lead over Alabama is just at 3. And Indiana and Wisconsin, it's been a seesaw affair. Indiana back on top, 2017. Keith.
Boy, pretty good stuff in the wind tunnel, isn't it?
Yeah.
Second down and 13. This time he throws quickly to David Boston. He steps out of bounds despite 2 Lions clutching at him. Messrs. Jew and Morrison. Mac Morrison came all the way from Port Orchard, Washington to play football at Penn State.
David Boston caught 14 passes in this game against Penn State last year. Hasn't caught quite that many this time. But
been a posse with him.
Yeah, he's been double covered everywhere. His dad is an NFL official, by the way. David's an academic all Big Ten player, which is nice to see.
Third down and 4. Jermaine back throws quickly again to Boston, and it goes through his hands. Thrown hard. The ball, remember, is wet and on a cold day. This is the first real cool day for a game of football we've had. Yeah. We started out, it was 51, and occasionally that little wind blows in here, and it feels like it's about 31.
Well, you're right. Those players on the field, when your jerseys get wet and your pants are wet, you slide on the grass. I want to tell you, it's like freezing down there.
Bartholomew to punt now. As the Buckeye offense can't do anything with it, and Branch is waiting for it. 28-9, Ohio State leads. Got some air under this one. And it's going to roll a bit. Oh, now he picks it up. Branch. Well, he got away with it. And now you got a penalty flag.
Branch receives the...
Now let's see.
Stop was made by Kevin Hauser. Flag on the play.
So the Nittany Lions pick up a silly penalty here that costs them another 5 yards and back them up. But in the middle of a melee, you know, it's not always possible to be totally disciplined. Here's a man who's always disciplined, Lynn Swann.
Yeah, well, I may have some discipline, Keith, but I am not really dry.
You sound a little cool,
As you can see, my pants are a little wet. I'm a little wet all over. And this is that kind of miserable weather that kind of creeps into your bones. The players are out here, they're trying to stay dry, and then after a while they forget about it. Their hands, they're not soaking wet, but you know, they just don't open up and feel comfortable. And considering all of this, I think both teams have played fairly well in this kind of weather.
I think so. And the ball off to Aaron Harris. Buckeyes eat him up. Had no chance. Brent Johnson and Joe Brown were all over it. We've played 3. It's 28-9 Buckeyes. We're back after this message and the word from our ABC station.
Sports, home of the Bowl Championship Series.
We've got a quarter to play. Now that we've extolled all the virtues of the kind of day we have in which we must play this game and live our lives, let's proceed for the next 15 minutes with Ohio State leading 28-9. Nastasi comes out with a wide man. And the Nittany Lions are in be careful country.
You got that right.
Back on the 3-yard line. Thompson's going to throw it out of the end zone, gets it off, and overthrows McCoo coming out of the backfield. McCoo's playing a goodly bit. He's 5'10", 195. He's a chunk from Red Bank, New Jersey, but the part that kind of gets your attention is the freshman.
Keith, when you're backed up, as you take a look at the numbers for Kevin Thompson, and the one interception led to a touchdown, or was a touchdown, the offense, when you're inside your own 5-yard line like this, the offense may have the ball, but the defense has the advantage because it's a wet, cold day, and this defense is aggressive.
Pass, look out, incomplete. It was a battle between Shafi Fields and Ahmed Plummer. And Katzenmoyer was all over Thompson, the quarterback. And it was a wrestling match between Plummer and Fields, and Plummer almost picked his pocket.
There he is right here, coming right up the middle, Katzenmoyer. He just barely gets rid of this ball, and it's almost picked off.
So again, the Buckeyes are going to get good field position out of this. Unless Pat Pigeon is forced backwards in one step and he's beyond the field of play, and it's 2. There he gets it up. Line drive, upfield, Rambo. Oh, if he bounces outside that time, he had a picket line. But he didn't see it. But even so, the Ohio State Buckeyes are camped at the Penn State 32-yard line for a first down. Here's 20.
Well, Keith, you know, you asked Joe Paterno about linebackers. He's had a few great ones. And you asked him about Katzenmoyer, and he compared them to a couple of great ones he had at Penn State. He said, as intense as Matt Millen and as fast as Shane Collins. That's Andy Katzenmoyer, except for he has one more thing going for him. He is a load. Neither one of those guys were nearly as big as Andy Katzenmoyer at 255.
Nope. Best starting position of the ball game for Ohio State. The pass thrown to D. Miller. Great play by Arrington. Now here's a linebacker almost at the corner of the end zone defending a wideout, D. Miller, and he saved a touchdown. If Joe's able to put a little air under it, Jermaine gets it just a foot higher. It's 6.
Yep. You talk about Katzenmoyer and Joe. You know, Katzenmoyer's choice came down to Ohio State or Penn State, and Joe had some nice things to say about Katzenmoyer the other day when a lot of people were getting on his case.
Michael Wiley looking to get outside and can't do it. They have almost contained Michael today. The touchdown he scored was on a pass reception.
Yeah, he's hurt him more through the air receiving the ball than he has rushing. Joe was saying some nice things about Katzenmoyer. He said, you know, everybody's giving him ecstatic about his grades and a lot of other things. He says if those courses are available to the other students at the university, they should be available to the football players as well. Don't give him a heck for taking those courses.
Jermaine's pass is incomplete. Intended for Lumpkin and not a particularly good choice. Ball was tipped by Kielmeyer, but it could have been going the other way real quick. Rashard Casey was seen a moment ago getting up on the sidelines and apparently will begin to warm up.
The thing I like about Jermaine, Keith, is that, you know, he's very calm. He has no highs and no lows. He doesn't get real excited when things go well, and real low when they don't go so well. I like what his dad said. You know, he's determined, and he doesn't have that ability to think of himself as a second-string quarterback.
Fumbled that snap from center and had to cover it, so on 4th and 10 they were going for it, and he never got away with the ball off the snap. And so they give it up to Ohio State to Penn State at the Nittany Lions 32-yard line. Time remaining, 14:24.
Douglas, ABC Tuesday.
There are all the numbers that carry real meaning right there. New quarterback for Penn State, Rashard Casey. Sophomore out of Hoboken, New Jersey, 6'1", 205. He's still in the seasoning process. Big arm, lets it go, and it's too big. So he comes off the bench, adrenaline pumping, and we're off the bench, headed for John's house.
So, Keith, Wisconsin against Indiana, of course, you focus on the big guy. Ron Dayne from 4 yards out pumps this one across. This has been a great game to watch, a lot of offense, but for Ron Dayne, he ties Marshall Faulk quickest to 4,000 yards, 28 games. This is in Division 1A. Herschel Walker with a record of 27 games. Keith.
How about Indiana, Keith? I'm impressed with the Hoosiers playing the Badgers.
Well, yeah.
That's tough.
Casey's about to get a taste, but they miss him, and then he pulls it down and takes off, and this is what he can do. Kevin Thompson can't.
This is a kid that can run, has a strong arm, and can run. There are a lot of schools in the Midwest in the Big Ten that wanted this kid from Hoboken, New Jersey.
Including John Cooper.
Cooper wanted him. Michigan State thought they might have a chance at him. Joe Paterno from Penn State landed him. Just not quite as sharp as Kevin Thompson. You know, coming into the season, Joe said, I'm going to play them both. And he has played them both, but he's played Thompson a lot more than Bouchard.
He picked up the first down, and Casey turns, hands the ball off. This time it goes to McCoo. And McCoo will be stopped at about the 46-yard line, just beyond the 45. Along that defensive front, remember, for Ohio State, Bailey, Wayne, Brown, Johnson, all sophomores. Pickett and Collins. Pickett started today. He's a true freshman. Collins is a true freshman. So there's a lot of young folks. Just outside the 45 now for second down and still about 10. Casey back. No, ball bounces. We're talking to John Cooper yesterday about how many freshmen he's playing. I mean, he just shoves them right into the middle of the war, and he said this.
We found out that if you don't play them, you ain't going to have them. I mean, if a player's, you know, we redshirted Nanny Wilson, we redshirted Sean Springs, we redshirted Robert Smith, and those guys stayed 3 years and, you know, left. So if he's good enough to play, if he's good enough to help us in any phase, whether it's covering a kickoff or a punt return or, you know, playing on special teams or anything, we're going to play him as a freshman.
Oh, John loves that old Tennessee saying, no, if the dog's going to bite you, he'll do it as a pup.
He may bite you in a good way or in a bad way.
Casey's still got clean britches. Drop the football. But they've got it. I thought it came loose. First time he's really met the ground. Ohio State has hit the Penn State people 11 times for a loss today. That gives you some idea about the aggressiveness of that Buckeye defense. Here's Pat Pigeon in to punt again. That's 7. Rambo is waiting. Took his time. Oh, that's a good kick. Up into the raindrop. Kenyon Rambo. Dropped immediately by Ascari Adams. And he's back inside the 10-yard line at the 9. 12:30 to play.
Okay.
We don't make a lot of the products you buy. We make a lot of the products you buy better. And Fidelity Investments, where 12 million investors put their trust. 'Tis the Santa Maria on the Scioto River in downtown Columbus. Sailed in yesterday. Furled the sails and sits comfortably and quietly. If you're ever in downtown Columbus, go by and have a look.
Sailed in yesterday? Now, lad, don't be telling these folks that.
It's quite an attraction.
Been there for a while.
Yeah, well, you and I went down there.
Yes, we did.
Fun to see it. Yeah. An old friend of mine named, to get this name now, I'm telling you, it's a true name. Ralph Emerson Waldo was involved in that. Great fellow. First down, ball at the 9-yard line for Ohio State's Joe Montgomery. And Montgomery gets nothing out of that play. There is one thing that is an absolute truth about a Penn State football team. They never quit fighting.
That's true. And, you know, the attitude is we're getting better on the field for next week's game, and I'm sure that's what Joe has told them on the sideline. And anybody that does give up will be off the field and out of the game next week.
That's right. And maybe packing a bag. Second down and 10, staying with the ground game. It's Michael Wiley, and Wiley will find his way out to about the 13 as we wander along the clock at 11:45 to play, and a 28-9 lead for Ohio State, the top-ranked team in the country. They've been up there all season. And the coordinating producer of ABC's college football, Tony Tortorisi. Today's game was produced by Mr. Jay Rothman, I'll have you know. Directed by Chip Dean, our technical director, Jeff Suarez, associate producer, Margaret Schaefer, associate director, Derek Mobley, assistant producer, Chapman Downs and Traven Martin. Our production manager, Amy Hussey. Jamar Martin is in the ball game. That big freshman fullback, and he's got the ball. And he's out to the 30, and it's a first down as LeVar Arrington brings him down. Jamar Martin is 6'1", 235, a freshman from Canton. Oh, you'll hear about him as the days go by. Our Tech Ops manager today, Jay Gleason, statistician, is Mr. Mark Amento from Omaha, and our spotter, Mr. Kelly Hayes, who comes down from the mountain twice a week. Said the Rockies had a sprinkling of fresh snow left yesterday. This ball is handed to Michael Wiley. Wiley is in there for 5 up to the 35.
John Cooper's done a nice job since he's been. This is his 11th year. And look at this, winningest coaches, 10-year minimum in the Big Ten. Schembechler is at the top. And John Cooper comes in at the right there at the there's 3 Michigan coaches and 2 Ohio State coaches. How about Woody Hayes? You did a lot of his games, partner. Any memories of Woody Hayes down through the years?
Some good, some bad.
Well, we know some of the bad. I mean, the one everybody remembers. But tell us some about the good.
Well, I was entertained somewhat as Wiley goes over the left side. And, Ann Hayes, they sold that one-room log cabin where Woody used to go and hide and read his books and what have you and rest, his sanctuary. And it went for a lot less than some people thought. But it was purchased at auction yesterday, and it goes into part of Ann Hayes' scholarship fund here.
Yeah. I think it went for what, $70,000?
$70,000.
Something like that.
Mm-hmm. If I don't give Craig Rothberg a pop here, his mother will write me a letter. He's from Tallahassee. Our computer stats. Although this is Michael Wiley, and Michael almost ran out of the grasp of Ascari Adams there as he moves it up and picks up another first down. So you can move along with the change. And at the conclusion of today's game, we'll pick the Chevrolet Most Valuable Player of the game from each team. Chevrolet making a contribution to each school's general scholarship fund. But I think one of the things, the measurement of a coach, a general, a sergeant, people who lead men, after they're gone, you never hear anybody say anything bad about them, especially the people who followed them, the people who played for them. That, to me, is the greatest testimony you could have for a coach. I don't know that I've ever heard anybody, not Woody Hayes, who ever worked as a player under him.
And you were saying that he was a big historian also, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah, he certainly was.
Read about the battles of the generals?
You had no chance of winning an argument. If you got him backed into a corner, he'd whoop out his Churchill quotes, and you were done. It's over. Forget it.
John Cooper's averaged about 8 victories a year since he's been here, and that's about what Woody averaged when over his 28 years as head coach.
Second down and 8 from the 44. This is Wiley. Look out. Oh, he got a little tangled up with D. Miller over there. And the pursuit finally got him, but he was very close to scoring right there. But you know, the guy walking the far sidelines where the fellas wearing the white suits and the black shoes, he's right there with Bo and Woody and Fritz and all of the others, Bud and Bear.
Yep.
And I've often said that Mama wanted a doctor, Papa wanted a lawyer, and all they got was a legend.
Papa and Mama Paterno you're talking about.
Yes. First down for the Buckeyes at the 45, just inside the 45-yard line. Here's Wiley again. And he'll get it down inside the 40 to the 39.
The amazing thing to me about Joe Paterno, Keith, is he's been at Penn State for 49 years. He was there 16 years as an assistant and then 33 years as a head coach. And in all of those years, his teams have never been under an NCAA investigation or violations or anything of that sort.
When Rip Engel hired Joe to come down as a young assistant, he didn't even have a driver's license. He didn't know what was west of the Hudson. Ball comes spurting out. They're going to call him down at about the line of scrimmage. So he made some of his early recruiting trips by bus and his thumb.
71 years old, winningest active coach, 301 wins, and he still runs on the field. He loves what he's doing.
I'm going to give him a hat for Christmas.
He should be wearing a hat. Sue, we'll give him a hat next time.
Yeah, Sue makes him roll up his britches, but get dirty. I know it's just tremendous people. They're great people. Life, they've got a great perspective on it.
They do. You're exactly right.
Jermaine's pass he's hit just as it is thrown, and Joe took a lick that time. He's getting up very tenderly. Mac Morrison came blowing in there and nailed it. And Jermaine is very tender, and they're going to have to take him out of there. It is 4th down, so I don't know. Joe may be through for the day. We'll see about that.
He gets under his right arm and hits his ribs. I'm sure he's wearing one of those vests that protects your ribs. Maybe he just got the wind knocked out of him.
Well, they lead 28-9.
I don't know why he's in there throwing passes now anyway.
Brent Bartholomew is in to punt. I think they could very well let us have a look at Garcia, the backup quarterback, Mark Garcia. And you may see him. That's fair catch called at the 9-yard line by Bruce Branch. So 6:35 to play in the ball game. And Joe walking around on the sideline. Joe Jermaine there has got a jacket on now. He's talking to Mark Garcia. We're anticipating that Garcia may be in the ballgame next, though he's not warming up. You'd think he was going to come, but that's 3 or 4 downs from now. We'll see what the Nittany Lions do. Rashard Casey is on at quarterback in relief of Kevin Thompson now. And the Lions have the ball first down at their own 9-yard line. They hand that ball inside, and there's some room for Eric McCoo. And he's up across the 17.
Well, the defense set the tone for this one. They had a lot of tackles for loss. They recovered a fumble in the end zone for a touchdown. They blocked a punt for a touchdown in 28 of 49 plays. Didn't get back to the line of scrimmage, or if that. Barely got back.
But this kind of thing, though, tell a football team where it's got all the tools. They can do it in a lot of different ways, and would seem to broaden their foundation. Here's John.
Keith, Florida and Alabama actually a close game. Some surprise. 2nd and goal. Doug Johnson is stripped by Alabama. The fumble is recovered by Wesley Welsh. That's their 11th fumble of the season for Florida. They had 8 all of last year, and right now clinging to a 16-10 lead. Florida State also in a battle at College Park, Maryland. 18-10 after a safety they just got. Keith.
Well, I would say, Steve, will be a lot of fun at supper if Alabama sneaks up on them after that many fumbles and mistakes.
You know, when quarterbacks get outside the pocket and run around like that, they need to hold on to the football.
3rd down and 2, and the field is littered with laundry. Well, let's see about the penalty call here. I think a false start.
False start on the offense, 5 yards, still 3rd down.
It's a time of tedium in the ball game, just inside 6 minutes.
It's a good time for Freddie Puggich, the defensive coordinator. He's happy with the way things have gone. Penn State has only converted 2 of 12 3rd down conversions. We got some good athletes on this Ohio State defense, and Freddie knows it, and he turns them loose.
From the 12, Rashard Casey fakes it, gets him Rudzinski in the air, gets, that ball's out of bounds. And had all the room, but when he threw the ball to Branch, it was out of bounds. Mark Garcia will be the quarterback for Ohio State. He's cranking up. Eighth punt of the day for Pat Pigeon. He's going to have to go soak his foot. Gets it out of there. Low line drive. Rambo needs a little help. Got one. Needs another one. There it is. The middle of a thunderstorm. Down he goes. Tomorrow live at 4 Eastern on ABC Sports, Championship Auto Racing, the Texaco Grand Prix of Houston. The inaugural race on a street course. Kart season winding down. Points leader Alex Zanardi is running off to Europe to drive in Formula One next year. Last time a driver won back-to-back was 86 and 87. A fellow named Bobby Rahal. Last time I heard was living hard by Deerfield and Dublin, not far from here. Mark Garcia. He is a senior from Modesto, California. Blitz coming. They go after him. And the ball comes out.
Arrington took it away.
And Arrington has the ball. Oh, that's a fierce greeting for Garcia. Arrington came boring in, and suddenly he had his hands on it and took it away from him.
Here's Arrington right here. He's going to inch up, and he's going to time his blitz just when the ball is snapped. And he was trying to give the ball off, and he gave it to Arrington, or Arrington took it away.
I've never seen
right there
like that. You know, Garcia turned around to hand it to his running back, and instead Arrington had it.
This kid is one heck of a player. Like I mentioned earlier, intercepted a pass against Pittsburgh 2 weeks ago and returned it for a touchdown. Had 3 sacks in that ball game. We had another one here today and a turnover right there.
Nittany Lions take possession at the 48-yard line. And Rashard Casey, trying to throw the ball to Concho Brown, is busted pretty good and had no idea what he was doing with it, just unloading it. Because Cortland Bullard was bringing an axe handle.
Ohio State the rest of the year, Keith, they don't seem to have too tough a schedule. None of these teams are ranked at the moment. Michigan, I think, might be ranked in the top 25, but that's always been their tough game, their bugaboo. They have Michigan at home last game of the season.
Casey, who's yet to complete a pass, finally does to McCoo out of the backfield. Antoine Winfield nails him down at the 45-yard line.
You know,
it'll be 3rd down and 7 now with about 5 minutes to
this
go. This
bowl championship series rankings are due out at the end of this month.
End of October?
Yeah. That'll be interesting to see how they rank them. They're taking into consideration the strength of schedule and a lot of other things.
Casey slips a little bit, but gets his pass away, and it is incomplete. Ahmad Plummer defending on Sam Crenshaw, who's a 200-pounder out of Youngstown, Ohio. Found his way down to Happy Valley.
This mano-a-mano, speed against speed. Ball is underthrown and thrown to the outside.
4th and 7, and the Nittany Lions will go for it at this point, trailing 28-9 at 4:43 to play. Ball thrown outside to Corey Jones, and Jones had no chance. And Plummer, they're keeping him busy right now.
Well, these defensive backs are just too quick and such good tacklers. Those things just don't work out there.
Here's Swannick.
Well, Keith, This is about as close as I'll ever come to dotting the I at Ohio State. So the man who's been dotting the I for him all afternoon is Dean Miller. He has been phenomenal. And the reason why he's been great today is because he runs the most precise route of all the wide receivers. And in weather like today, when the quarterback is having a hard time throwing, the defense is playing tough, you want to know that the guy you're going to is going to break at the right moment and be at the proper depth. And that's been Dean Miller all day long. So, on the sideline, we thank you from the band. Keith?
Can you get a sound out of that thing?
I don't think I can. I couldn't blow this tube if my life depended on it.
Give it a try. I want to see if you get anything out of that sousaphone.
Can I try? All right, here's the try.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, yeah, he's got a sound out.
All right.
I think that's somebody behind you. I don't think he did that. Can you bend over and dot the I? I want to see you bend over. He'd never get up. Somebody have to come help him. There's D. Miller, the man he was talking about, who's had a big day. Good player.
He's caught passes now in 19 straight games.
Now, Mark Garcia will try to get things organized. They're at 1st and 15 after the 5-yard penalty. And he'll pitch it back. And here comes Jonathan Wells.
Jonathan Wells here.
And he isn't going very far that way. He's knocked out of bounds by James Boyd, a sophomore from Chesapeake, Virginia.
How about the NC State Wolfpack the other night whooping up, huh?
Startling.
Michael Caine doing a nice job down there.
Huge wins for them this year, huh?
Beat Florida State and Syracuse, who had been playing. Syracuse had a couple of big wins, one over Michigan.
Garcia pitches back again, and same fellow carrying the ball, Jonathan Wells. He's out of River Ridge, Louisiana, where Chris Howard came from to go to Michigan. Coming up next on ABC Sports, our college football doubleheader continues. Michigan, Iowa, Colorado, Oklahoma, Clemson, North Carolina, Washington State, UCLA. So check your local listings for the game in your area. Check your cable or satellite company for pay-per-view games available. And if they don't have what you want, tell them about it.
Call them up, huh?
Just give it to them.
One of the talk about surprises of the season, and one of the disappointing starts is the University of Michigan, losing to Notre Dame and to Syracuse.
Garcia rolls it out. Brendan Short's after him, and Mr. Short has him. Thank you very much. And down he goes.
Stop made by Brandon Short.
Oh, that brings up
Team on the field for
Ohio State.
Your old buddy Frank Broyles got to be happy there at Arkansas with the start of their...
you put your thumb on those guys early.
A lot of guys coming back and a new coach. Beat Alabama. They beat Alabama
roundly.
Yeah.
What, 42-7 or something? Alabama's giving Florida all they want today. Oh, maybe the Hogs are getting ready to bite somebody.
Well, they beat Alabama, a running team. Today they've got Kentucky, a passing team. See how they do against the pass.
Kick is out. Low. A little bit of room here for the return. He slips a bit. It's Grant. And Grant gets up to about the 25-yard line. So the Buckeyes in control of things with 2:45 to play. Bosom, because that's the national championship trophy, and it'll be decided and given to the winning team of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl in Tempe on January the 4th.
Yes. Where will you be?
I'll be there, I hope.
Yes,
This
sir.
is Omar Easy. Omar Easy, the Jamaican young man born and raised in Jamaica and grew up in his last 3 or 4 years in Everett, Massachusetts. There it is where he learned to play football. And there were a lot of people who, like Joe Paterno and his staff, saw the enormous potential for this fellow. Now, he's 6'1", 243 pounds, and he is an athlete. And as soon as he nails down some of the particulars about this game that they're trying to teach him,
this American game,
look out.
Yeah, a lot of schools were after him, too. So Joe didn't have the corner on him. It wasn't a secret. I mean, everybody was after him.
If time permits, we invite you to stay tuned for the Thrifty Car Rental post-game report featuring scores and highlights from across the country. And remember, there's another game to come. Let me tell you, too, as we prepare to go away for the day, College Football Today, produced by Charles Copeland. College Football Today, directed by Kelvin Haywood. Technical director, Gary Boyarsky. And the remote coordinator, old friend, Vince D'Addario. Third down and 4. Rashard Casey puts it up. And it is over the head of Corey Jones, who had no idea where the ball was because he didn't have time to look back. Well, it has been a long day for Joe and the boys, but they'll make their way on down the schedule.
Well, this is some good experience, though, for Rashard Casey to get in there and his feet wet a little bit, so to speak. Watch the tape, learn from your mistakes, and move on.
It's another impressive outing for this Ohio State football team, though.
Yes, it is. And after dropping some points in the polls when they were idle last week to Nebraska, I think this is a very impressive showing.
Coop said he could understand why they... Oh, this is a good kick. He could understand why they would lose a couple of points. And penalty flags are down now as Rambo returns it because Nebraska just wailed a pretty good football team in Washington.
Oh, boy, did they ever.
And Newcomb makes them a tough football team.
And this is an impressive win here for Ohio State.
You know how I got this thing figured out. I figured the Buckeyes run the table. Wisconsin runs the table. Rose Bowl and the national championship game out in Denver could have undefeated teams.
See? Yeah, Hoss, there's a lot of water under the bridge before that.
Yeah! The final moments of the ball game between the Buckeyes and the Nittany Lions. Derek Combs is the deep back now. Fresh legs with a clean shirt in the backfield for Ohio State. He's got the ball. Now he can go to the laundry.
One of the key plays in the game, the first offensive touchdown. Michael Wiley out of the backfield. Kind of broke loose, and this is Tim Salem, the quarterback coach, up in the press box, was so excited that he actually punched the glass in front of him and broke the glass.
The coach's booth.
The coach's booth, yeah. That was a shattering experience, I would say.
Lucky he didn't cut himself.
Exactly.
What about the folks underneath it? Somebody said there were Penn State riders. I didn't see any. Paramedics didn't make the trip, so I guess everybody's all right. Derek Combs carrying again. The Chevrolet players of the game as the clock winds down. The most valuable players for Penn State. LeVar Arrington, 12 tackles, a sack, 2 forced fumbles, and a fumble recovery. For Ohio State, D. Miller, 6 catches, 108 yards. A Chevrolet donation made to each school's general scholarship fund for these people. A Chevrolet tradition for more than a quarter of a century. And so it's final. Number 1, Ohio State 28, Penn State 9. We hope you enjoyed it. Now here's a dry John Saunders.
All right, Keith, we are indeed dry. Although it's a little cold up here in New York. Todd, we talked about